All right, have a seat up on your lift or a chair. If you're sitting up on a lift with your legs crossed, change them the opposite way. So you're sitting with the opposite cross that you may normally sit in, the one that feels awkward. Let me just fix something here. I didn't mute people. Everyone's muted now, I think. No, wrong button. There we go. All right. So again, sitting with your legs crossed the opposite way that you normally do. So the way that feels weird. We spoke about last week, the two main ways of sitting, having the knife edge of your foot down or the top of your foot down and the soles of your foot facing up. I recommend choosing whichever creates more ease for you. I am turning the soles of my feet up. It creates more ease for me. But if the other one creates more ease for you, do that. It's your practice. And check in with both too every now and again. And maybe it's something in the middle. Maybe we don't always have to go for the extremes. There's certainly times for that. There's certainly times to, test out how far we can go mentally, how far we can go physically, where we're at today, right? We kind of have to push to see where we're at. And there's time for that. There really is. But there's also times when ease becomes most important. And for many of us, it's harder to practice ease than it is to practice trying to push up against that wall. We haven't been taught ease. We've been taught work hard, push harder, work harder. And again, there are times for that. But we haven't been taught how to live with a sense of ease, how to experience ease. So I want to highly recommend to you as you move through class with poses that may be difficult, that you still seek this place of easefulness. And it starts here with sitting. This time for sitting here is a time to shift gears from whatever you were doing before, whatever the mind was thinking before, from all the what ifs, from all the doing, and to shift and to say, I'm here, I'm sitting in this moment in time, this moment in space, the here and now. And it's an opportunity to study not the what ifs. Well, what if this happens? What if that happens? What should I be doing? But to go inward and examine what the experience is right now, this moment, without wondering how it could be different, without wondering if it should be different, without wondering right and wrong, or am I doing something right? Am I doing something wrong? But can you shift the mechanisms of the brain, which focus on right and wrong, which focus on judgment? It's kept us alive for us, our lifetimes, for humanity, for millions of years. So that is what it does. And can you shift the mechanisms of the brain to simply observe? taking a step back in the mind's eye and becoming an observer of you, this body, this experience. What do you notice? When you can focus on this moment, the here and now. How does the breath, the prana, the life force change? Not even by change, haven't gotten there, but by resisting the need for change and simply observing the here and now. And there's not a right and wrong in this either. It could be this sense of peacefulness. Oh, I don't need to change anything. I can just be here. But there also can be this sense of resistance or irritation because we're so programmed to always wanting to adjust and move and change that the ability to simply observe, that's not the right word, but this act of observing, it can be quite difficult. And there's this wanting in the body to do something, to change something. And if that's the experience, then I want to recommend maybe doing a little different than what I said before. I said, don't go to the max, go to the max, but go to the max of awareness, go to the max of observing right now. Work that one as much as you can. Not the physical max, but the max of being here without adjusting, without moving. And of course, there are movements. There's no such thing as not moving. The breath is going in and out of you. There's movement. Blood's flowing through your body. There's movement. Your answers come from studying this moment. Your answers come from studying this moment. Let's begin, let's study. Once we've observed, we can now begin the subtle changes. Yes, there are actions, but we want to take them from a place of acceptance, of observing and accepting. So perhaps you can find the even balance of your sit bones. Perhaps you can release the inner groins, lengthening from the upper inner thighs through the inner knee, lengthening also from the upper inner thighs towards the abdomen. So from your knee and lower abdomen, on both legs equally, there's a complete lengthening. And on the outer legs, there's a drawing from the outer knees to the outer hips as you compact the hips together. And notice as you compact the hips together, that may affect that even balance of the sit bones that you achieved before. So there's a continual adjustment. So now as we drop our awareness into the here and now, we have to observe this continual adjustment of the body, the movement. to maintain the inner leg lengthening, the outer leg contracting, the even balance of the sit bones. And yes, I understand how these instructions even feel like opposites. Observe what is, keep changing. Observe what isn't, keep changing. And that's quite intentional, because in the world we live in, opposites are true. We get attached to it has to be one or the other, when in many instances, opposites are completely true. Can you offer your breath more space in the torso? I lengthen from your hips up through the side armpits, allowing the shoulders to release away from the sides of your neck. Without forcing the breath, can you gently guide it so that it touches the front and back bodies equally? It's not all just in the front body. And to be clear, I'm not saying force a deep breath. I'm saying gently guide the breath. And it's not really even about guiding the breath. The breath will go there if you open it up. So open up your back body equally to the front body so that the breath feels welcome moving there. Allow the elbows to draw down, keeping the elbows by your sides. Bring your palms together at your chest. Touch your palms evenly left to right, right to left. And then understanding that there is constant movement, there is even constant adjusting, can you find a stillness here and be here? Again, observing this moment, the here and now. Remembering throughout our practice that even as we adjust, even as we move, right? Yoga is meditation in action. There is action. But even as we do this practice, your answers are in the here and now by studying the here and now. And let's chant the syllable Om 3 times together. Exhaling completely. Deep inhalation. Lifting your sternum towards the ceiling, lower your chin towards your heart. Release your hands onto your thighs with your palms up. With your eyes closed, raise your head. From the back of your head, gently let your eyes open. And take a moment here as well, before jumping up into the next pose, observing this here and now, this moment in time, this moment in space. All right. I didn't mention props before, so I have a chair. You can use any kind of chair. Dining room chair is fine. I have a couple blocks. Get some books if you don't have blocks. I have a strap. You can use a scarf, belt, any kind of similar constructed piece of something. All right, come off of your lift. We'll start off in child's pose. I want you, let's everyone take a lift under your head. So take a block or a folded blanket or a pillow. If you practice downward facing dog on a chair and you know you do, have your chair nearby. We'll be going into downward facing dog next. So have your chair nearby, feet together, knees apart. Have the comfortably supports your forehead. Extend your arms forward. Press down through the ball of the first finger and thumb as you rotate the upper arms out. Not one more than the other, but you need both. And by the way, you know, it's hard because I'm not really, I see little pictures of you, but I'm not really seeing you. If this is bothering your knees, then you can take a blanket. Just get that deep in the backs of your knees. And that can help, or a bolster on your heels to give you a little higher support, all right? So those are things you can do. And of course, you know, if you're something's not working, if you unmute yourself so I can help you. You do want your sit bones on or as close to your heels as possible. So as you press down through the ball of the first finger and thumb, as you rotate the upper arms out, not one overtaking the other, but both of them where they meet in the middle, those actions. Lengthen from the tip of the first finger through your inner arms, through your armpits, and through your side ribs. Move your sit bones towards the wall behind you and draw your sit bones down towards your heels. So that's the lengthening action. There's a widening action as well. So can you create an experience as if your shoulders are moving further away from each other? And by shoulders, I don't mean upper arms. The upper arms can actually draw in towards each other, but those shoulders broaden. And the chest broadens as well as the top of the back. And the abdomen and the lower back broaden. Do lengthen the inner groins, right? So that same work of the inner thighs. Descend the flesh of the inner thighs. And allow the skull to rest completely. The face should be completely soft. Allow the breath to touch both the front and back bodies. Now you want to maintain the length and width that you've created as you transition into downward facing dog, coming up onto your hands and knees. Of course, use a chair or blocks. If you use a chair or blocks, just take those. Press down through the balls of the first finger and thumb, so shoulders over the wrist, knees slightly behind the hips. Press down through the balls of the first finger and thumbs, rotate the upper arms out. Again, find that place where those actions meet in the middle. And then you push into the floor so that you can lift your chest up off of your wrists. You don't want to fall onto your arms and hands, but you're pushing up and away. Find an evenness on the two sides. And turn your toes under, straighten your legs. Shoulders still above the wrist for a moment. Finding an evenness on the two hands. There's more weight in one hand or the other. Press down through the balls of the first finger and thumb. Rotate the upper arms out. Push into the floor to lengthen those inner arms. Inhale. Now we're coming to downward facing dog. Take your thighs back. Take your chest towards your thighs. Take your sit bones towards the ceiling. Now for me, that blanket is right there. I can kind of rest my head on it. But if it's not there, don't worry about it right now. Press the ball of the first finger and thumb. Rotate the upper arms out. push into the floor to help you get that lengthening. It also pushes more weight back into your feet. Right? You want your legs really working. Now pull those thighs back. Lengthen from the inner knees all the way up deep into the body. Draw from the outer knees to the outer hips as you compact your hips together. Let your skull release. Can you study here? Study the breath. Allow the breath to fill the front and back bodies equally. And then look up, walk your feet forward. And move the blanket out if it's in your. Come into a forward bend and hold your elbows. Uttanasana. Hips over your heels. Balance evenly on the 2 feet. Press your thighs back, not the hips. So actually the hips come slightly forward as the thighs go back. Lengthen from your inner knees. Again, deep up into the body. The flesh of the inner thighs move back. Draw your outer knees to your outer hips as you compact the hips together. And as you compact your hips together, allow your torso just to be squeezed out. Sometimes it's like squeezing a tube of toothpaste. You're squeezing your torso out. Lengthening through the side ribs with each breath. Your elbows and your chest get closer to your big toes. Back to downward facing dog. Let your arms go. Take your hands on the floor. Walk your feet back. Straight arms, straight legs. Press down through the balls of the first finger and thumb as you rotate the upper arms out. Press your thighs back. Lengthen through the inner leg. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. Don't just jam your front ribs towards the floor. The chest, overall, the chest does move towards the thighs, but keep the front bottom ribs moving towards the back body. And then the torso as a whole seeks the thighs, or the chest seeks the thighs. Let your head go. What do you need to do here to create more ease? And then look up, walk your feet forward. Hold your elbows the opposite way you did the first time. Thighs back, hips forward and thighs back. Lengthen from the inner knees, deep up into the body. Inner groins lengthening, the flesh of the inner thighs moving back. Draw from your outer knees to outer hips. The more you can lift through the legs, the more your torso falls over your thighs. Let your skull release. Let your face release. And then let your arms go. Take your hands on your hips, elbows towards the ceiling, torso parallel to the floor, but keep your thighs pressing back. Keep the thighs pressing back. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips together as you extend the chest forward. The elbows, even though they're pointed towards the ceiling, they're moving towards the wall behind you. So thighs back, elbows back, chest forward. Maintain that as you inhale, come up. And then come up into Tadasana with either your feet together or hips apart, whichever causes more ease for you today or allows for more ease today. Balance evenly on the 2 feet. That's the hardest part of the pose. Simply finding an even balance on your 2 feet. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Lengthen from the inner knees all the way up through to the lower abdomen. Watch those front ribs sticking out. Take the front bottom ribs towards the back body. Top of the buttocks down, thighs back. And take your arms out to the sides. See that they're not moving forward or back, right? That they're still in line with the body. And even just lifting the arms up, for many of us, those front ribs push forward. So take the front bottom ribs towards the back body, top of the buttocks down, thighs back. From your armpits, rotate your arms up. Go as far as you can, just from the armpits at the very end. Yes, you turn your wrists so the palms go up. There go those ribs again. So draw the ribs back into the body, top of the buttocks down. Now from your armpits, push your arms up. See that they don't come forward, that the arms stay in line with your ears. Even if you have to take them further apart, that's fine. Go those front ribs again as we take the arms up. So towards the back body, top of the buttocks down, thighs back. Open the armpits. This is about opening the armpits. Turn your hands out to the side. As you come down, it's as if you're pushing the air down to lift the chest. So find resistance between your hands and the air. Interlace your fingers together. Take your right first finger on top. Turn your palms out, extend your arms forward. So what we do here when we extend the arms forward, we tend to throw the hips forward, we tend to throw the ribs forward. So can you take the hips and thighs back? Hips over your heels, thighs pressing back. Same work of the legs where you're lengthening through the inner groins, drawing the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Keep those front bottom ribs into the body. Now, when you take the arms up, I want you to notice that the ribs are going to push forward. So keep the front bottom ribs moving towards the back body. Push the webbing of your fingers together. Inhale, take the arms up. I feel every I was going to say inch, but I don't know, every little piece that I move my arms up, those ribs seek to come forward. So I'm continually drawing them back to the body, back to the body, back to the body. And see that you're not tucking your chin, see that you're not pushing your head forward, but the back of your head is in line with your buttocks, in line with the heels. Extend your wrist towards the ceiling. Release your arms out to the sides. Exhale, come down. Interlace your fingers together the opposite way. Take your left first finger on top. Keep those thighs back, ribs in. Turn your palms out. And by the way, again, I can't see everybody that well. If it's hard to keep your arms straight when your wrists are turned out, just turn them towards you. That's fine. And the palms will face down instead of up. But otherwise, turn the palms out. Push the webbing of your fingers together. Thighs back, ribs in. Inhale, come up. Ribs in, thighs back. Push down through your feet, extend up with your wrists. Find a soft face. Shoulders down as the arms go up. Release your hands out to the sides. Exhale, come down. Hold your elbows behind you. All right, so cross your forearms, hold your elbows. If you can't reach your elbows, hold your forearms. If you can't reach your forearms, hold your wrists. If you can't reach your wrists, hold your hands. So even here, we take the arms behind, and what happens? Those ribs go forward. So take the thighs back, ribs in. And take the forearms, push them into your back without letting the ribs go forward. Something does need to adjust. And if you don't allow the ribs to go forward, you may experience an opening instead in the armpit chest. If the ribs go forward, you won't open the armpit chest, at least in my experience. But if you can keep those ribs moving back, the top of the buttocks down, thighs back, you may allow yourself to experience an opening in the armpit chest. And then release and cross your forearms the opposite way. Hold the elbows or forearms or wrists or hands. And again, adjust the legs first, so balance evenly on the feet, thighs back, ribs in. And then use those forearms pushing into your back, not just to push the torso forward, but resisting with the torso so that there maybe today you experience that opening in the armpit chest. And if it's not coming, it's not coming. That's okay. Observe the breath as it flows. And then release, Tadasana. And then walk your left hand up your back. You can use your right arm to help you. So push your hand up. If you can reach your elbow, take hold of your elbow. And then your hand is in between the shoulder blades and you can press your fingernails into the back. But you may not be able to get hold of your elbow, so that's fine. Just, support your forearm, support your wrist so that the arm just doesn't fall down. But you're helping support it, and maybe if it's easeful, it goes an extra millimeter up. And find a lengthening from the armpit to the elbow. So the ribs stay into the body again. Push your fingernails into the back. And find more length between your armpit and your elbow. So what's optimal today? Again, we're not forcing the extremes today. We are moving, meditation in action. So there is action. But can you still find a sense of ease? And most important, a sense of studying the effects of each action. And then release the arm. Tadasana, check in. And then the other side, walk the right arm up. And if you're anything like me, you'll wonder how these two arms are connected to the same body because the experience is completely different. Again, holding the elbow or supporting the forearm or wrist, pressing the fingernails into the back, and finding that extension between the armpit and the elbow. And release. Tadasana. All right, extend your left arm up. Rotate it so the hand faces the back. I'm not sure how much you can see. And then bend your elbow. I'll come down just to make sure everyone can see me. So the arm goes towards the back. And then bend the elbow so you're touching between your shoulder blades, or again, wherever your hand might wind up today. And then press your fingerprints into wherever they're touching between the shoulder blades or wherever they happen to be. Now, again, as soon as I come here, these ribs just want to go forward, forward, forward. Draw the ribs into the body, thighs back, groins lengthening, outer knees to outer hips, ribs in. Now you can see it. This is my more difficult shoulder. This is where I had the surgery 20 some years ago. The effects are still there. So I have to take the tricep towards the nose. I can, take your right hand around. Take your tricep towards the nose. Use your arm to help you. And I'm going to seek, not by leaning back. I could lean back and get my elbow further back. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to try and take I'm going to use my right arm to help my left arm and not worry so much about back, but take that elbow closer to the ceiling. An easeful amount. An easeful amount. Look, there go the ribs, there go the hips. So thighs back, ribs in. because I'm seeking to open the armpit. That's what my goal here, is to open the armpit, not just to shove the elbow back or up, but to open the armpit. And then release your right hand, left arm goes up, turn your hand out to the side, come down, and then the other side. Right arm up, rotate it to face the back, bend the elbow, take the hand between your shoulder blades, take your opposite arm, hold the tricep, turn the tricep towards your nose, and again, notice how this might feel like a completely different body. For me, it certainly does. The tricep, then watch thighs back, ribs in, and then take the elbow, holding, you're not pushing the elbow, you're holding the middle of the arm, but you're moving the elbow towards the ceiling in order to open the armpit. The elbow may go back, that's fine, but can you think more up than back? And think more opening of the armpit than really arm or elbow. And keep turning that tricep towards your nose. And then release with your left hand, right arm up, hands out to the side, Tadasana. So now we're going to put it together. I'm going to take my strap. We'll take the left arm will be in back, the right arm will be up. So take the strap over your right shoulder. Now, if you've done this before, right, this is Gomukhasana, cow face pose. If you've done this before, you know your hands can clasp easily, fine, don't use the strap. But otherwise, just take the strap. It can be helpful to have it there. So it's going to go over the right side of your body. Take your left arm, extend it out to the side, and then take the palm facing the back. And then bend the elbow and slide your arm up your back. You can use your right hand again to help you. You can even take hold of the elbow for a moment, or support your forearm for a moment, and then allow your left hand to take hold of that strap. Then take the right arm up, rotate the arm so the palm faces the back, and then take hold of the strap. If your knuckles hold each other, that's fine. Now I can sense here, my ribs have already thrown forward, even my thighs are beginning to go forward. So thighs back, ribs in. Thighs back, ribs in. And then we want to repeat some of the work we did when we were doing the arms one at a time. So there's a lengthening from that the lower arm, so left arm, inner armpit to inner elbow. And on the top arm, take the tricep towards the nose and take the elbow towards the ceiling to open that armpit. And then if you're holding the strap, you can try and pull the strap apart, which takes the upper elbow higher, the lower elbow lower. And we're talking millimeters, not inches. And then take a moment to study the breath, study the experience. Keep those ribs in. And then extend your right arm up, hand out to the side, come down, take your left hand on the outside of your waist, take your palms together, take your right elbow forward, and release, Tadasana. Take the strap on the other side. Right arm goes out to the side, turn the palm to face the back, then you bend it, slide it up your back. You can use your hand to support, your opposite hand to support, taking hold of the elbow, or gently pushing up with the forearm or the wrist. Again, don't worry about maximum, worry about optimal, easeful. And take the left arm up, rotate it to face the back, bend the elbow, and take hold of the strap. Again, if the knuckles touch, but my knuckles touch, and today I'm just using the strap. Why? Well, it's a little bit more easeful. And believe it or not, sometimes if you don't go to maximum, you can actually do more. You go further. So thighs back, ribs in, lower arm, right arm, lengthen between the armpit and the elbow. And I know that's very subtle. Upper arm, take the tricep towards the nose, take your elbow up towards the ceiling, open the armpit. Don't throw the ribs forward to do that. Keep the ribs going back as you open the armpit. And then again, pulling that strap apart, or if your hands are clasped, don't dig into the knuckles, but it's as if you're trying to pull the hands apart even though the knuckles are clasping. So the elbows are moving away from each other. Thighs back, ribs in. Study. And then right arm up, left arm up, hand out to the side. Take your right hand, just close to the wrist, well, not close, but put it around your waist, and take your palms together, left elbow forward. And release, Tadasana. And as long as we have the strap here and we've been working on the arms, take that strap overhead. Ribs in, arms up. And let's just go back. Most of you here have done this with me. Arms back, arms up, arms forward. Arms up, arms back. Opening up those shoulders. So good. And then stopping as you go back, stopping at that point that just feels so open. Pausing for a moment, allow the breath to flow. Don't force the breath, just allow it to flow. Watch it, study it. And then arms down, and arms up. And put the strap to the side. Let's see if that did anything. Back to Tadasana, arms out to the side. Ribs in, rotate the arms up. Watch those ribs, thighs back, ribs in, arms up. Any difference? What's different? What's changed? How do the armpits feel? How does the neck feel? How do the shoulders feel? How does the breath flow? And turn your arms out to the sides, come down, Tadasana. Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Fingertips up by your chest, bend your legs, jump yourself wide. Drop your shoulders, extend through the arms. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. Take your front heel in line with your back arch. Press the back heel, turn the front thigh, and lift those outer knees to outer hips. Compact those hips together. Press the back heel. Inhale. Exhale. Come down. Press the back heel. Turn the front thigh. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. And as you extend those arms away from each other, extend both the front and back sides of the body. Allow the breath, head is back, don't tuck the chin. Allow the breath to touch the front and back parts of the body. And then reaching up with your arm, pull yourself up and out, parallel your feet. And over to the other side, right foot and left leg out. Front heel in line with your back arch. Press the back heel, turn the front thigh out. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact those hips together. When you get that compacting of the hips together, your torso begins to lift up. Instead of sinking on to the pelvis, it pushes the torso up and away. So there's a lightness to the pose. So keep pressing that back heel, keep compacting the hips together. Inhale, exhale, come down. Pressing into the back heel, turn the front thigh out, lift the outer knees to the outer hips. There is a rotation of the torso, as if you're leaning back against the wall. And as you extend those arms away from each other, please open the front and back sides of the body, not just the front, but both. And allow the breath to touch the inner flesh of the front and back sides of the body. And then maintaining the pose, pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior pose 1. Fingertips up, bend your legs, jump or step your feet apart. Now the first time we do this pose today, we'll start with hands on hips. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. Pick up your back heel and take that left hip forward to square your hips, and then press the left heel back. So hips are squared to the side, ribs are squared to the side. The back thigh does turn in. Press the back thigh back. Knee people, please be careful for that back knee. Press the thigh back so that you can press into the back heel. Don't just press the knee back. There's a lifting from the front of the back thigh right up into the chest. Don't push those ribs too much forward. Don't just throw the ribs forward, but there's that lifting. The flesh, the front of the back thigh lifts right up into the chest. Elbows back. Inhale, we're going to bend the front leg. Exhale, bend the front leg. It's a 90-degree angle. Knee over the ankle, thigh parallel to the floor. Keep that left hip going forward. Keep the left ribs going forward. Watch those front ribs. Draw them into the body. The top of the buttocks does move down. Draw the abdomen in. Draw the abdomen up. And then extend your arms forward and arms up. And hopefully we've done enough work in the shoulders and the arms that the arms even just float up. Observe. And then as if the arms are just floating up, want to pull you up, lift up, straighten the leg, parallel your feet, arms out to the sides, hands on hips. Take a breath. Right foot in, left leg out. Right foot in, left leg out. Lift up your back heel, take that hip forward. Take the heel down. Square the hips, square the ribs to the side of the room. Turn that back thigh in, press the back thigh back to press the back heel. And again, there's that lengthening from the front of the back thigh right up into the chest, not by pushing the ribs forward, but the ribs come in and the lengthening is all the way up into the chest. Top of the buttocks down. Draw your abdomen in, draw your abdomen up. As you exhale, then bend the front leg. Knee over the ankle, thigh parallel to the floor, and then you have to readjust. Take that right hip forward, take the right ribs forward. Ribs into the body. Elbows back. Draw the abdomen in, abdomen up, and then allow the arms to go forward. Allow them just to come up. We've done so much work opening the armpits that hopefully they just float up there. And if not, that's okay too. Be here in your experience and study it. And press into the back heel, reach with the arms still just feeling light. Parallel your feet, arms out to the sides. Jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. Now this time we're going to go in the pose the more traditional way with the arms up. Okay, so fingertips up, bend your legs, jump or step your feet apart. And of course, if at any point you have to take your hands on your hips, do so. Do what you need to do. Rotate the arms from the armpits so they face up. My ribs just flew forward. Draw your ribs into the body. Thighs back. Now, from your armpits, push your arms up. Hopefully there's a little bit of a lightness to them. Left foot in, right leg out. Now you still have to pick up the back heel, take that right hip, left hip forward and place the heel down. Square your hips, square your ribs, even though you don't have the help of your hands. I want you to draw the abdomen in, abdomen up. Now reach up with your arms. You're resisting your arms. Your arms don't want to come down, but you're bending the front leg. Keep the arms up, shoulders down, arms up, bend the front leg. Watch those ribs. Ribs in. If there's ease in your neck, look up. Pressing the back heel. Abdomen in and up. Chest lifting. Soft face. And of course, if your head isn't looking up, you just look straight forward. Totally fine. And then reach with your arms. Come up, parallel your feet. Arms stay up. If you need to take them down, take them down. Otherwise, arms up. Other side, right foot and left leg out. Pick up the back heel, square the hips, square the ribs. Back thigh turns in, back thigh back, pressing through the heel. Now reach up with the arms, abdomen in and up. Reach up with the arms, bend the front leg. So the arms are trying to keep everything lifted, keep everything up. Knee over the ankle, thigh parallel to the floor, abdomen in and up. If there's ease in the neck, look up. Otherwise, look forward. Observe your pose. Right hip forward, right ribs forward. Then reach up with the arms, straighten the leg, parallel the feet, arms out to the side. Jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. All right. Virabhadrasana 3. I'm going to show you. So just watch. Watch how we do this one time. We start off in Virabhadrasana 1. I'll go through it quickly. Just watch. Okay, so here we are, Virabhadrasana 1. Then you're going to come forward. You can step in with your back leg. Abdomen fully on your thigh. Some of you are going to fall here. When we fall, we celebrate. So the arms are forward, and then we straighten the standing leg, lift the back leg up. Then when we come out, we take that back foot down, right back into Virabhadrasana 1, straighten the leg, parallel the feet, and then we'll go over to the other side. Words make sense? Any questions? All right, well, let's have some fun then. Fingertips up, bend your legs, jump or step. Arms up. Left foot in, right leg out. Pick up the back heel, square the hips. Square the ribs. Keep the arms nice and lifted. Inhale. Exhale, bend the front leg. It's a real Virabhadrasana 1. Warrior pose 1. Inhale. Exhale. Come forward. Take your abdomen onto the thigh. Onto the thigh to help you with that balance. And then begin to straighten the standing leg, the front leg, lift the back leg. Outer knee to outer hip. Definitely on the standing leg. Both legs, but really that standing leg. And then extend the arms forward. Extend back through the leg. Then coming up, bend the leg. Virabhadrasana 1. Straighten the front leg. Parallel the feet. Arms out to the side. Take your hands on your hips for a moment. Take a breath. Yes, we have the other side to do. Any problems? All right. Well, well done. Arms out to the side, arms up. Right foot in, left leg out. Pick up the back heel, square the hips, square the ribs. Lift up through the arms. Inhale, bend, exhale, bend the leg. Virabhadrasana 1, a real one. Then inhale, exhale, take your abdomen onto your thigh, reach the arms forward, and then begin to straighten the front leg, lift the back leg. Up. This side may be a little bit more wobbly than the other side, or vice versa. Extend, we'll lift the outer knee to the outer hip, and extend through the arm, extend through the leg. And then coming out, bend the front leg, Virabhadrasana 1. Really do it, ribs in. Then straighten the front leg, parallel the feet, arms out to the sides. Jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. Check in with yourself. All right, now for those that struggle with this pose, hey, me too sometimes, oftentimes. Everybody go get a chair. You're going to start with your hands on the seat of the chair, okay? So it's almost Ardha Uttanasana in a way. So you want your hips over your heels and the arms forward. There we go. So you're still getting that length in the arms and in the side ribs, okay? So do Ardha Uttanasana here. So there's length in the side ribs, the thighs pressed back. Have your feet together though. Even if you don't normally take your feet together, your feet are together. Lengthen from your inner knees up through towards the abdomen, lift the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips. Now just step your right leg back. Step the left leg back. So the right leg is this standing leg. Turn the thigh out. Lift the outer knee to the outer hip. Now, don't let this hip of the back leg, don't let the hip come up. So that thigh needs to turn in. And did I say turn the thigh out of the standing leg? Turn it in, not out. Turn it in. And then turn the thigh in of the leg you're going to take up, and then lift the leg up. And notice how the hip wants to go up, take the hip down, and the leg up. So you can see you're in the same pose here, similar pose here. It's just that your hands are supported. And then take the leg down, take the feet together, thighs in. Apologize for saying the thighs out. Turn your thighs in. And other side. So step your right leg back. So the thigh stand, like thigh turns in, outer knee to outer hip. And yes, lengthen the groin. That's going to help you. And then as you lift the back leg up, turn the thigh in. And not from the foot, but from the leg. Really from the inner thigh, lift that back leg up. Keep the hip down as you take the back leg up. Keep the hip down as you take the leg up. And then extend through the arms forward and the leg back. Virabhadrasana 3. Warrior pose 3. And take the leg down, feet together. Take your hands on your hips, thighs back, elbows up and back, chest forward. Inhale, come up, and Tadasana. Now, I like the seat of the chair because it's a little bit more stability, but as you can see, the hands are slightly down, not really forward. So if you need the stability, do that. Have the seat of the chair. If you have your balance, want a little bit of support though, you turn the chair around, and then you can have either your flat hands or your wrists. My hands seem to be slipping on that chair, so I'm going to take a blanket, put it over the back of the chair. There, now my hands aren't slipping. So now your palms can face each other. Again, so the stages of stability, hands on the chair would be most stable. Hands down on this bar, also fairly stable. A little less stable with palms facing each other, closer to the pose. Can you pick what's right for you today, or maybe you just want to experiment? Now, caution, if you push down too much on the wrist, look what happens to the chair. So you actually have to push forward, right? So from here, if your palms are facing you, however your hands are, because in the pose, you extend your arms forward. So can you extend from your armpits, even though the thighs are pressing back, ribs into the body, then extend from your armpits out through your hands. And then step your left leg back. So standing leg, thigh turns in, lift the outer knee to the outer hip, and then the leg you're taking up from the thigh, take that leg up, but extend the arms forward as you extend the leg back, hip down. Don't take the hip up, take the leg up. The hip goes down, and then extend through the arms forward and through the leg back. Observe your pose. And again, as you take the leg down, it's not the foot you take down, it's from the thigh, the inner thigh. Take the inner thigh down until your foot touches the floor, then take your feet together, readjust, center yourself. Extend the arms forward, thighs back. Then step your right leg back, turn the front thigh in, lift the outer knee to the outer hip. Extend the arms forward, and from the upper inner thigh, begin to take that back leg up. Hip down, leg up, extend the arms forward, extend the leg back. Arms forward, leg back, hip down. Arms forward, leg back, hip down. Observe your pose. And then again, from the thigh, take that leg down, feet together. So here we are, Ardha Uttanasana. Walk your feet a little bit forward, take your hands on your hips, extend your chest forward, inhale, come up, and Tadasana. And then downward facing dog. I'm going to use the chair. Hands on the chair, walk your feet back, downward facing dog. Thighs back, lengthen the inner legs, outer knees to outer hips. Again, pressing the ball of the first finger and thumbs, rotating the upper arms out, getting the length, arms, armpits, side width, but also the width. Shoulders, front and back chest, abdomen, lower back. So there's a widening here as well. And then look up, walk your feet forward, hands on hips, inhale, come up, Tadasana. And I think it's nice to see how poses can change throughout a practice. So if you did downward facing dog on the floor at the beginning of class, take it on the floor. If you did it in a chair or blocks, do it the same way you did it before. So you can see what the experience we've done today, what effect it's had on you. So downward facing dog on the floor now, or however you did your first one. Press down through the ball of the first finger and thumb, rotate the upper arms out. Push into the floor to lengthen through the inner arms, lift your chest up off of your wrists. Toes under, straighten the legs. Inhale, lengthening through the arms. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Chest towards your thighs, not throwing the ribs forward, but chest towards your thighs. Getting the length of the arms, lengthen the legs, thighs back. Lengthening from the inner knees up through the inner groins, outer knees to outer hips. Get the length and also get the width. Shoulders apart, not the upper arms, but the shoulders. And a broadening in the chest, front and back. Widening the lower back. And allowing the breath to touch the front and back bodies equally. And then bend your legs. If you're on the chair, just come into Tadasana, walk forward. And if you're on the floor, take that lift again for your head. Child's pose. Observe, rest. Take your hands underneath your shoulders and push to come up. Lie back, take a blanket under your head. Either a flat one or a folded one, depending on what you need for your neck today. Start with your legs bent, feet on the floor. Do a little twist. I have a little wall in the way here, but extend your arms out like a T. Bend your legs into your chest. Keep your thighs together. Extend through your left fingertips. Take your knees towards your right elbow. Keep the thighs together. That means your right thigh needs to push up towards your left. Turn your abdomen to the left as your knees go to the right. Inhale, come up. Take your feet on the floor, square your hips and square your shoulders. On the other side, bend your legs into your chest, extend through the right fingertips, take your knees towards your left elbow. Keep pushing the left leg up, left thigh up so your thighs stay together.
Turn your abdomen to the right, extend through the right fingertips.
And push with your leg, inhale, come up. Feet on the floor, square your hips, square your shoulders. Bend your legs into your chest, hold around your thigh, around your shins or behind your knees. Take a few breaths here. Say something kind to yourself, something loving to yourself. As you give yourself a hug. And on your inhalation, take your feet to the floor, scoop the flesh of the buttocks towards your heels, straighten your legs one at a time, let your legs go. Take your arms comfortably out to the sides, a 30-degree angle, or wherever is most comfortable for you. And let go. Let go. Can you become an observer for this moment? You've done the actions, you've done the changes. For what purpose? Now is when you find out. Can you take a step back in your mind's eye and watch? Watch this body. Watch the breath breathe this body. Watch the breath interact with this body. And study this moment, this here and now. Shavasana. Deepen the inhalation. Lengthen the exhalation. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose. Bend your legs, place your feet on the floor, knees together, feet apart. Place your hands onto your abdomen or onto your chest. Let the healing energy of your hands penetrate your body, pierce through your layers and heal. Whatever it is you may need healing with today. When you feel ready, extend your right arm past your right ear, roll to the right side. Be on your right side for a moment. When you feel ready, place your left hand on the floor in front of your heart. Turn your torso towards the floor, push to come up. Come up chest first, head last. Come to sitting. If you're sitting cross-legged, cross your legs the opposite way you did from the beginning of class. Bring your palms together. Try your eyes back and down as you turn the corners of your lips up. Taking a moment to observe your practice. What's different? What's changed? Let's close our practice together by chanting one collective Om. Deep inhalation. Om. Gently let your eyes open. Big smile. Namaste. Bow to the divine within you.